Hi all, and welcome to the Unseen Strands podcast, a crochet and fine arts related podcast where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you strands of the rest of my life. I come to you from Central Iowa, where I live with my 4 boys, my husband, our 2 cats, and our dog. And guys, we did it! 200 friends! Yay! Okay, so my little surprise, which I didn't think we'd actually hit it before I actually recorded podcasting, but since it's Friday, before I actually got to recording, I do have a giveaway, but I know this won't be everyone's cup of tea, and I totally understand that, but I finished the shawl, and it's not really my cup of tea, so I thought I would let you all have the opportunity to have a chance to win something that has been knitted by myself. This is the I'll Be There For You shawl, which is a oh, Marlisha, what is your name? It is from the Pen Hooks and Needles. The mom did this shawl pattern, and it's just a more of a deep V than a wide V, and it's not my thing. So I was going to give you guys the opportunity, and if you see a stitch marker, there was a part where the babies had pulled a loop with a hook, and I was trying, oh here it is. So I was just trying to get that straightened back out. So I'll probably work on that a little more to get it more evened out before I actually hand this out. So I'm going to hide the stitch marker on this side. But yes, we have this lovely shawl. It is out of a cake of mandala. I don't know what the colorway was, but I'll get more into it, I guess, in finished objects. Yeah, so you can either leave a comment, or I guess you can do both. You can leave a comment on this video to enter, or you can enter in at the Unseen Strands podcast group over on Ravelry. I will also open a thread for the 200 subscriber, and this will be it. There are no hidden special prizes. It'll just be the shawl. So if you want the shawl, you know, I wasn't going to do anything for 200 subscribers, but I have the shawl. I don't want to tear it out, but like I said, it doesn't need to stay here because I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to have it instead. Okay, so I left a lot of information out, so I'm going to go ahead, and you'll probably see a lot of these little clips in here where I'll have a picture and just kind of go over some details. So the 200 subscriber giveaway will be for the I'll Be There For You shawl done in the mystery mandala cake. It will run through May 13th, so the morning of May 14th, I will go ahead and draw for a winner. As I said, you can enter either here on YouTube or on Ravelry, or you can enter in both places, so you can have 2 chances at an entry. And I would appreciate it if you are going to enter in both on YouTube and Ravelry, that you go ahead and leave your Ravelry name in the comment box, or vice versa. If you are commenting on Ravelry, please leave your YouTube name, just so I can link the 2 together on my information, so I know it's way easier for me to contact you with Ravelry. So if I can do either, or if I can use Ravelry, it's just going to be a lot easier for me. So that's where that is appreciated. But you don't have to. It's just, it makes my life easier. And anything to make my life easier, as you know, we don't really have a good way to reach out to people through YouTube. So it's mainly just so that I can get a hold of the YouTube people if someone from YouTube were to win over Ravelry. So what I am going to do is on Ravelry, I will take the second comment spot for myself, and then anyone who enters on YouTube, I will go ahead and list your number versus the numbers of comments that we get on that thread. So since I can adjust my numbering on my Word document, I'll go ahead and just edit that in on, you know, when I go to draw for prizes, so you guys can see the list of people who commented. But not a huge deal, just little information for you guys on the background of how I'm going to do this, since I'm doing it over multiple platforms, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and close that on May 13th. And yeah, like I said, it's just for the shawl. So if you're not interested in the shawl, I'd really appreciate it if you didn't bother to enter, because I really would love for this I'll be there for you shawl. Since you guys have all been there for me, I'd love to, I guess, be there for you with this little lovely shawl. And I think that's it. So we'll get back to our scheduled programming. So I watched last time's episode, since I couldn't remember what I had shared and didn't share. And I did not share with you the finished object of the pussy hat. So, since it has not gone to its forever home yet, since I have not seen my friend since it's been finished, I hope this looks about right. Can't see myself, so you know. Yes, this was made out of Stranded Dye Works yarn in her Bras Off the Clock colorway. It is a 100% merino Aran weight yarn, and I knitted this last month, and no clue what I had for needles, it would say in my project page. And now the hat hair. Sorry guys about that little interruption. I had hat hair and Jeremy's home, so I might still have hat hair because I haven't gone anywhere. But since we were going to a different finished object, I thought we'd just cut anyways. But I noticed last time I didn't have these done, and they're actually wet right now because I washed them yesterday. But I have my Aloha socks. You probably saw these in some of the groups. Jeremy, quiet please. Just head downstairs and you can be on your phone. I think he's going to go play Fortnite with one of his school friends. Yeah, here are my Aloha socks. I don't remember all the details. They're on a 2.5 circular. One of them, which was the 9-inch circular one that I did magic loop. I don't think, honestly, I can't tell. So, Miss Carrie Penny, who doesn't like your 9-inch circulars, I'll take yours because I don't have, I don't like to cast on. I just used a crochet hook to cast on my latest pair. But I don't mind doing most things with the 9-inch circular, although when I noticed when I did the cast off, I did have to move to the bigger one just because there wasn't enough needle to keep my positioning good enough. But yeah, so those are my Aloha socks, which, like I said, I've worn and have already washed, and they're still kind of damp. But and then of course we have the I'll Be There For You shawl. I think that was all my finished objects, but I'll try and put in a picture of the shawl because it's really hard to get all in camera. But that's the basics. I mean, it's just a big V, pretty much. And yeah, like I said, it's just not my shape. I like something, when I wear shawls, you know, I wear them up on my shoulders like a grandma. I don't know if I can be able to get this one on. But yeah, see, it doesn't cover enough of me for me. I'd rather not have quite as much of the length and a little more coverage here. So I guess you probably can't see that. A little bit more coverage on my shoulders or forearm. I don't know. Like I said, it's just not my shape. So we'll go on to works in progress. I don't have a whole lot to show you. This is mostly going to be the stash acquisitions episode. I have my hat that is nearly done. This is another one of CC Almond's, which is Java Pearl Designs. Sorry, my needles were loose. This is another one of the top-down preemie hats. This is one of the larger sizes, so this was probably newborn-ish. I think it was the 12 something, which would be a really small newborn. My hat might be a little bigger than that, looking at it. but it's aimed, I think it was the 12.5-inch size. And all I have left to do, this was supposed to be for my scrappy project, all I have to do is bind off, but I've had issues. I mentioned that on Wednesday's podcast, so that is not quite done, but almost there. And that's probably the last time you're going to see it, because I doubt I'll pull it out for another finished object. But I did, which I mentioned in Wednesday's episode, or Wednesday's weekly whip, that I had started this, but then ripped it out, but I did get it started. So this is the Apocalypse colorway, which is a Leading Men Fiber Arts yarn. This will be a pair of socks, hopefully for my husband, as long as I can make them big enough for him. I did a 68 stitch cast on and just a 2x2 rib. This is the first time I've done top down, so my cast on isn't exactly the prettiest thing. I did drop a stitch like in the second row, so that's kind of noticeable, but I wasn't going to fix it. So I'm like, I am experimenting in the first place with doing this, so I'm not going to be super anal, although I'll probably be a little more than I need to be. I just finished 24 rows of ribbing because he thinks he needs an extra. He wants me to rib the entire length of the sock for the or from your calf down, and I told him no. So I did 24, which I think that's a fairly substantial cuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it as just knitted sock. Because 2x2 rib is just kind of annoying to have to go and do. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate, so I'm not in good sentences. But yeah, so that is what I am working on. So now for some chitter chatter. So I was watching the Secret Yarnery, and guys, what is it with everyone worrying about what everyone else thinks of them? Okay, this is something that I am totally, I guess, oblivious to, because I guess for the reason that I can't see what you're doing, I really don't care what other people think of me. Like I've mentioned before, I was the weird girl that crocheted. It's never been a secret. It's never been something out of the ordinary for me. So I don't care what you think of my stash. I don't care if you think I have too much yarn, because I don't go through your house and pick apart everything that you have too much of. So, some people collect purses, some people collect shoes, some people collect clothing, some people collect yarn, and yarn is a happy place for me. So, do I have expensive designer yarn? Yes. Do I have cheap acrylic yarns? Yes. Do I love all of them? Yes. And should you be ashamed of having these, either having fancy yarns? I never had a skein of hand-dyed yarn until December of 2017, and that is because I won a skein of yarn in the Geeky Girls Knits podcast fall. I don't remember what the autumnal something along, and that was the first skein of hand-dyed yarn I had. I had just started to make socks before that, so I had some of the Deborah Norville, the sock yarn with the bamboo, which Carrie says that you should not use that for your first pair of socks. Well, in all fairness, my first pair of socks was a crochet pair of socks, but it was indeed a Deborah Norville pair of socks. And actually, I just threw those in the washer, so I don't have them to share with you, but they're still holding up. I mean, like I said, that was 2017, so they're not super old. But they were my first pair of socks, and they were out of what she says is bad yarn to do for your first pair of socks. But yeah, guys, just stop worrying about what everyone else thinks. Now, I know this is a normal thing for other people to worry about, because I'm always fighting my husband and his mom about them talking about what other people think. I'm like, who gives a crap? Sorry, guys. That's about as verbal as I will get for you. But really, who cares what other people think? It's not important, guys. There are so many bigger things in this world to worry about, and like I've mentioned this week, I ran on zero emotional reserve, and if I had to worry about what other people thought of the things that I brought into this house. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I got interrupted yet again because Sam went out to the in-laws, and so yeah, my husband's, well, his dad and his stepmom came to pick him up, so I had to chatter with them a little bit, and now I'm gonna drop a stitch. Okay, so where were we? Oh yes, so the one thing I do care about, I guess, where other people might, I care what other people think is in parenting, which is still even kind of only haphazard, because there's a lot of things I don't care about, because you don't know what it's like to be a blind mom. So therefore you can't have an opinion on a lot of stuff. But at the same time, I do care, because I do want my children to be responsible, respectful people, and they're not. And so, of course, I care about that. And so that's where, I guess, that I do care about what other people think. But everyone seems to be getting so caught up in what other people think of them in the, I guess, yarn world. And guys, it's not worth it. Let's do what makes us happy, and just, if it doesn't make you happy, just don't do it. If watching my podcasts don't make you happy, it won't kill me. You don't have to watch. Had a little bit of a coughing fit, so I had to take a little bit of a breather there. But yeah, if like watching these podcasts don't make you happy, you know, I just got to 200 subscribers. I have been on YouTube longer than a lot of the podcasters. A lot of them have only been on since the beginning of this year, that are already well ahead of me in subscriber counts. And you know, it doesn't matter to me, the subscriber, or like I like to say, friend count. Because, you know, not everyone's cup of tea. I do not think like the normal person, and I'm aware of that, and you know, I'm okay with it. You know, do what makes you happy. And, you know, I do what makes me happy. I have okay, so I would not have picked to have 4 boys, but I wanted to be a mom, and, you know, I got blessed with 4 boys, and so that's what I deal with. I want to still be able to crochet. I picked up knitting because I wanted it not to have control over me, and not being able to knit was, you know, one of those things where it's like, well, you're not good enough. So I told it I would not let it rule me, so I, you know, finally sat down and conquered it. It wasn't because other people think that knitting is the superior craft. It is simply because I didn't want to feel like I wasn't smart enough to knit. And I saw all over the place that people were talking about how blind people knit more than they crochet. And I'm like, what? How is that even possible? You can't knit and crochet, or you can't knit and be blind. So, since somebody else could do it, I had to do it too. And like I said, it wasn't what other people thought. It was because I wanted to be able to do combo projects, because I like putting different skills together. But yeah, guys, let's quit worrying about what other people worry about, okay? I've had a lot of things this week that I had absolutely no control over, and they destroyed me. And it's not a happy place. Let's just get away from the unhappy. I think Gypsy Rose beat me to this, because she had her subscriber giveaway thing earlier today that I was watching, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I'm thinking. It's just like, no, negativity, boo. Let's get away from it. It's not worth our time and our energy, and this is way too long to be talking about a very negative subject. So let's move on. Okay, so guys, my stash additions I'm going to put in as clips, because the one was too tall, to fit on the camera, so I had to flip the camera. So I've already recorded that. I also had a Michael's haul that I have already recorded, because sitting here and just holding up things and saying, guess which color it is, just didn't seem appealing to me. So yeah, I went ahead and just recorded a little shot of that stuff, and then I should be getting a Hirschner's order in here any time now. I hope it's out for delivery today. I guess, I don't know. It might not be out for delivery until tomorrow, which if that's true, I probably will not get this up till at least Sunday, because I do want to put that all together, because I don't want to have to figure out what I recorded last. So if all the stash acquisitions are in there, I won't have to worry about it. So I'll go ahead and insert that stuff here. Okay, y'all, I'm cutting away and putting this in, but this is one of my new stash acquisitions, if you can call it that. Gymboree was going out of business. I don't know if that was all locations or just the one that is near us. And they had, it was, I think, 3 days left when we visited, and they had their fixtures, and they called this a fixture. So this is wearing just one of the baby's outfits. I know it's not exactly something that goes really together, corduroys and camo, but yeah, so this is just one of their display models, and I just put baby clothes on it. So this will fit like 2T and up. And this is Sam's hat that I made, that I knitted this winter. But yeah, that is just my fun. See, it's, yeah, I figured I won't have this in my background of the podcast, because I know those little dummies freak people out. But yeah, that's my fun new stash acquisition, I guess. See, and the leg ends about there. I had to figure out how to get the torso off so I could get the pants on in the first place. That was kind of fun. But yeah, I probably should take that off of the mannequin so the babies have one more outfit, because that's something I don't have a whole lot of, is, you know, 2T clothing, which is what they're wearing. And of course, again, the details I forgot to share with you. This little mannequin already does have a name. My husband said that we could get it only if he can name it Eduardo. So that is its new name, although I think that'll be kind of funny, since I will be making girl items, hopefully toddler and up sizes, at some point or another. So at least for now, since most of my smaller crocheting will be toddler up for the boys, as in sweaters, because yeah, there's not going to be a lot of bottoms for them. I guess Eduardo will work. But yeah, that is our new little mannequin friend. Okay guys, and here is stash acquisitions, I guess, number 2. The other week, I want to say this was around the 1st of the month. I don't remember, but Michael's had a big sale on soft yarns, and I was planning on going and plumping up my Simply Soft stash, because of course I need more. That's another side topic that I will get into on the podcast. But so I didn't see any colors I didn't have already, and they were fairly picked over by the time we got there. I decided to get stuff because they had a spend $50, get $20 off. And they also had the paper packs that the kids use for their punches for 5 for $10, which is the amazing price if you can get it. So we're already buying at least $10. I think we got $12 worth of that paper. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going to get paper, I'm going to spend $50 and only spend $30, right guys? So I see it as this lovely load here is $35 worth of yarn. And hopefully I have it all, because of course the babies got into it. But I only got 2 new Simply Softs, and these are the ones that I already had, but I knew that they were ones, well, that one's already got something on it, that I knew didn't have labels. So I believe I got soft blue and bone. And then this bag over here has my yarns that I plan on making a sweater for Sam out of, unless I give this away. So I had 2 reds and 2, I think it was wine. And then I had, I actually have to rebag this stuff because that was, so we didn't realize, when it said soft, it was anything that had soft pretty much in the brand name, or not the brand, but the line name. So this Red Heart Soft, which is what I made a hat out of for Leo and Zane earlier this year. And I liked it, so I thought I'd get some more of it. But they had soft and soft essentials, so we had actually picked out this one to go with some other colors to go with the turquoise I had made for their hat, and then we found one that was like a teal blue kind of color. So we had picked out, I believe this was seafoam, to go with that, and then we figured out that this is actually a bulky weight, where the other ones are, I think, a size 4. So it's just like a slightly fatter yarn. But I got these 2 of the soft essentials, unless I picked up the red. There we go. I had picked up those of the soft essentials to possibly make, I'm destroying this yarn, guys, to make something out of. Then I also got, so I had the 2 reds, and then there's all these in the soft. And I just got one of a bunch of colors that I thought I could stripe together for the kids and do stuff like that. So I just got a bunch of different colors, and I'm sorry if they're not all showing, because I obviously can't read the labels, so I'm not going to share exactly with this. Yeah, but they're all there somewhere, because I think I counted it out right, so that I had the $35, which is what I spent on yarn, and I say that I spent $15 on yarn, and there was, if I have them all, 14 skeins of yarn, so a little over $1 a piece for a skein of yarn is not a bad deal at all. Of course, you have to have family into other crafting to get that kind of deal, and my husband might argue that the paper was free. But yeah, so that is my Michael's haul from the other day. Of course, I forgot to include the Happy Mail that I've received in the last couple weeks, almost month, I think, since I recorded last. So this is a prize I won from Silver's Dreamland podcast. I believe, was this Knit to Zero? It was whatever last year's Cal was. Sorry, Silver. But I got this bag out of that, which of course I have filled with all the lovely teas that she had included. So lots of fun there. And then back in, I think it was February, so yeah, there was mail issues on this one, because it needed signature, but it was also the time I got my surprise Happy Mail, and so I thought the surprise mail was the thing that they were saying that they missed us for delivery, but it turned out it was this. But I had won this from New Leaf Designs, which is a Netherlands, I believe, podcaster. She does knit and crochet. She's a designer, but she does a lot of crochet work. But anyways, she had a 50 episodes, I believe, giveaway, which I had won, and I had gotten this skein. I want to say my husband said this was Poppies, was the colorway of yarn. From that, she also included some tasty gummies, which we need to consume, and probably sooner than later, since this has been sitting around for over a month now. She also included a pattern. Sorry, can't tell you which way this goes, guys. One of those ways. But yeah, so we got that and this magazine, which again, I'm not going to be able to tell you which way it goes. Guess this way? Sorry if that's incorrect. She is the featured designer in this issue of this magazine. And it is full of patterns, so I can't really flip it more than that for you. But yeah, that was my happy mail that I have received recently. And finally, we have the Hirschner's order, which we'll start off with the flip sticks. Now, when I looked at this, I thought it was the Addy Flex flip sticks or whatever, the ones with the flexible cord in the middle of the two ends. But these were just the DPNs because, you know, apparently I assume things without actually reading things all the way through. But these will still be handy. This is in the size C or 2.75, I want to say. I don't have the information right in front of me. I wanted to get the E's, but they sold out as I was trying to check out. So I goofed up on that, but I do have size C, which actually might be helpful in just holding stitches in the knitting things that I'm doing since I'm trying to do sock stuff. So that is the set of knitting needles that I got. I also noticed that once again they had one color of the 2-ply Afghan yarn on sale. This is what I made. I had gotten the root beer in a previous similar sale that I had made Jeremy a sweater out of, and so they had another color. This time it was autumn. That was 99 cents a 50-gram skein. So I had gone ahead and got 6 of those. I figured I could either make a sweater, or if it looked like it wasn't going to work for a sweater, I could always make the baby some kind of blanket out of that. And that Hirschner's 2-ply Afghan is 100% acrylic. Then I had gotten the Sundance Breeze. This was in a 10-pack, although it did not come bagged, so why I had to buy it in the 10-pack. Just kind of funny there. I had gotten the color Panther, and I'm hoping to make some kind of little cover-up cardigan out of this. I probably won't need all 10 balls. This is a cotton polyacrylic blend. I think it was 55% cotton and 45% polyacrylic. It didn't specify the type of acrylic or polyester or whatever. It just said polyacrylic, I think. This is like a sport-ish weight, so I was hoping to make something kind of like the cardigan, but long sleeve or 3/4 sleeve like you saw in today's episode. Then for the other thing that I got in a 10-pack, I had gotten the Fawn Decay. I think that's a Willow brand, which is like another way of saying Hirschner's brand. For some reason, in the more recent history, they've gone to naming their stuff Willow. I had gotten Fawn Decay in the colorway Swimming Pool. These are a 50% bamboo, 50% acrylic blend. And of course, this was, again, the Decay, although I think it's supposed to be even on the finer end of Decay. And again, looking to make some kind of sweater thing out of that. And not sure if I will need all 10 balls, but I do have 10 balls of it since that was what came in the 10-pack. Then I had gotten 3 skeins of the Bamboo Fair, which is a 60% bamboo and 40% cotton blend. I had gotten this one because they had a color called Indigo, which is Jeremy's all-time favorite color. Like if he had to pick a color by name, that would be his favorite color. So I had to get some of that. They come in 100-gram skeins, so I had gotten 300 grams. It says the suggested needle hook size is a G, which is what I would use on worsted weight things. I know a lot of people use I and up on worsted weight, but I think that's a little too loose. So I prefer to use a G. So I don't know if you would call this a heavy DK or a light worsted, but that is another one that I had gotten. Well, that's an interesting turn of events for us. I went to look up the other fiber contents, and now Hirschner's site is down. So I looked up the Bamboo Fair that I did right before this, and now I can't look anything up. So I still have my order page up, so I can still tell what the other things were, but I can't get you the exact fiber contents and things. I had gotten Premier Chimonics. I don't know if that's how you say that or not. But as I remember, it had mohair and something else in it. It had, I recall there was 3 different fiber blends in it, but I don't remember a lot more than that. I had gotten it in the color graphite, and this again, I got 3 skeins, hopefully enough to make some kind of little cardigan or shrug or something out of. And yeah, so I had gotten that. Then I had gotten a, now I remember that this is 100% cotton. It is the Willow Meadow, and I'd gotten this because people had said that it was a lot thinner than the like sugars and cream and things. They said they would call it, I think, a sport weight or something. I think it is at least a DK uh, by looking at it, but they had some nice, interesting colors. So I had gotten the dark cherry. I just got 1 ball just to see how it compared to other cotton yarns, just, because it isn't a cheap yarn. I was just kind of curious. And then I had also gotten the Willow Field, which is a linen cotton blend. I don't remember again the percentage, but I knew this was going to feel really gross because linen always feels kind of gross. But I had gotten the color Dragonfly out of that. But anyways, so yes, we have our 2 written cals. Hopefully I will get this up before the New Year, New You cal ends. I might extend it a day or two because it's supposed to end on Earth Day, and so ideally I'll draw winners the next day, but it probably might be till like Friday of next week. And I actually have a little more plan behind that. But yes, so New Year, New You cal ends very soon. We also have the Great Podcaster Craft Together, which is all year long. There are monthly draws as well as quarterly draws and some year-long or yearly year-end draws that will be happening in that. And you can find the link to that group to post your finished objects in the Unseen Strands Ravelry group's chatter thread. I do have it linked, I believe, in the information at the top of each page for that group thread. Because we just have chatter in our group, but there are prizes and things in the Podcaster Craft Together group. Anyways, I think that's everything, I hope. Oh, is it Shelly? Shelly Sassy Stitches? This is my Cotton Fair cardigan that I made last year. I know I suggested to you, it is purchased at Michael's. Like, I got all the yarn for this at Michael's. I also have purchased some from Hirschner's, and I know they carry it on michaels.com. They have a few more colors, I think, on michaels.com than they do in, at least my store. They have very limited coloring. I mean, there's not a ton of Cotton Fair colors, but this is the Lacy Swing cardigan, which was in the one of the most recent subscription boxes I noticed, and it is a free pattern, guys. I don't know what they were telling people in their subscription boxes, but I made mine with not quite 3 balls. So yeah, that is just some fun extra stuff for you. I believe that's it for this episode. If you would like to find me on social media, there will be a list of links in the description bar down below, as well as if you would like to donate to the podcast, we do have a Ko-Fi page, which also will be linked down below. And yeah, guys, let's just have positivity, okay? Anyways, if you liked this episode, I'd appreciate it if you would hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.